The first one on the list was Cyrus.
How y'all doing? You all right? So I have a speech that I have. I'm going to read the speech.
Name and address, please.
Name and address. Cyrus, 6080 Water Street, Plano, Texas. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So, yo, Capel, what's poppin'? My Gen Z rizzles, I'm Cyrus, like the coronavirus, and I'm dropping the speech in peak Gen Alpha slang. So all you true NBA stans, the kiddos, the skidabadee toilet enthusiasts can catch these vibes. I'm about to serve the hot, the tea, baby gonk, TikTok. So strap in, fam. This is gonna be a banger. No Ohio energy, all Rizzo, my nizzle. Alright, so I was straight up yetied in the void, siren, crying hard when you said Fortnite dub. But yo, plot twist, go crazy. The NBA with their sneaky skibbity-dee toilet tactics, rigged draft lottery to hand my Dallas Mavericks the first overall pick, like WTH. That's all glow, bigger the baby gonks, clout chase I went to sad. But yo, what up? Real talk, y'all. It's low-key, hilarious how now the NBA thinks that clocking their T, they moving like they're in skibbity toilet episode trying to slick. But, yo, we see what up. Man, they trying like Fortnite lobby vibes, but I'm cracking, I'm crackling, I'm dizzle. I'm serious because I'm game. Never be among y'all lobbyists. So still, I'm locked up in the Mavs. So to my Gen Z Alpha Squad, keep your aura mixed. Stay woke. Don't go broke. Democrats are the best and the shiznicks. I'm Cyrus, and I'm out. Peace. Thank y'all.
My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself, why would I make time for you lames? At all costs, cause I'm a boss. But break them off, yeah, gotta break them off.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I don't know what the hell we just watched, but that was insane. Welcome to Primetime with Alex Stein. I'm your host, Andrew Chapados. Listen, I am the king of cringe content, but I was cringing so hard. Oh my gosh! It fell off my jacket. Sorry. We can't even do the show because. Stop it, Chris! You're responsible for that microphone, so that's your fault, not mine. And I would just want to say that watching that video was insanely hard, and we love Cyrus, the coronavirus. So I couldn't even. We got to welcome on local radio host. You know him from the James Parker Show, the one, the only James Parker.
Hey, what'd you just throw over there? Hey.
I was trying to distract you by throwing some stuff around. You can tell by my anxiety that I've just, can you believe what he just did? What did you think about that speech?
Where did he go to high school? Because there's some literacy concerns.
I think he failed out in 8th grade, and that's not his fault. He comes from kind of a broken home. No offense, Cyrus. You know, I don't want to elaborate too much on his own personal demons. But Cyrus, this is the one thing. I wrote that speech, and I could have sworn I wrote the Mavericks in there like 4 times. Could you tell that he was talking about the Dallas Mavericks at all in that speech?
I remember him saying the words, but it may have just been part of the jumble because there was like a Yeti in there, and there were about 3 skibbity toilets.
I think there was 5 skibbity toilets.
But he didn't say any of them correctly. No. Like there's an awkward pause at different syllables every time.
He was reading it one word at a time. He's like, Blaze, article, trans, woman, athletes, and he couldn't read a sentence. I mean, no offense, Cyrus. We're going to have to get you reading lessons for the next one. But the effort was there. That's all I need. I can coach you up. I just need effort because you can't coach effort. You know what I mean? So I got to give him a 10 for the effort, the cringe factor through the roof. Would you agree?
Yeah, just read through it a few times before you go up there and, just sit in your car in the parking lot. Rehearse. I know it seems like what you're doing is not important or doesn't require a whole lot of attention, but it's not so easy if your reading fundamentals are kind of in the lower part of this. I'm trying to be nice here.
You don't have to be nice. We love Cyrus. He's a friend of the show, a guy that's on the show. I'm just saying, the reading comprehension skills were poor, and there's no other way to describe it, Cyrus. Like, you were literally not reading it in senses, but I love it. I love the effort. I'm not mad. I'm only happy, and I know that I can take that talent that you have, and I can mold it, and we can make you an internet superstar. So we didn't just have Cyrus speak, though, James. We also had another regular guest, friend of the show, the one, the only 607 Unk. So do you know anything about the Black Hebrew Israelites?
Yeah, those were the guys that were harassing Nicholas Sandman and his high school friends from the Covington Catholic High.
Kind of, yes. I thought those were Native Americans too, but that.
Well, no, the guy that was beating the drum was a Native American, but before that, there's footage of it.
Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah, that was part of that group, and they have some real fun beliefs. They're the lost tribe of Israel, apparently, and they're the real Jews. And I think they'd be fun to just hang out with at a bar or have on the show.
They wouldn't actually be fun to hang out with because they hate white people, so they would not hang out with you.
Have you ever hung out with someone who hates white people? It's pretty fun.
To be honest, probably not, because I have a lot of black friends. I'm a pimp on a blimp. I mean, I'm basically black. But so I'm used to having and being around African Americans, black people, but these Black Hebrew Israelites, they really draw a line in the sand when it comes to skin color. And I would even say that I agree with you, there's people that probably don't like white people, but they don't draw that same line in the sand. These Black Hebrew Israelites, I tried to talk to them, James, they don't want to talk to me at all. And they even tell me that I'm less than. And there's famous videos of guys kissing their boots in New York City. So
are they in the news today? Where's this?
Well, we have a Black Hebrew Israelite. One of the leaders of the Black Hebrew Israelites Dallas chapter is a guy named 607 Unk. He's one of the original Jews, like you said. And we got him to speak at the meeting last night. And I would say that as crazy as Cyrus the Virus just was, 607 Unk probably could be considered even crazier. So with all that being said, are we ready to run shot number one?
We are ready.
And then we're going to bring on the guest after shot number one.
Yes, we can.
Just want to make sure. Andrew Chapados, this is coming on. Am I saying that right? We'll have to ask him.
Yes.
I don't know I didn't know there's Hispanic people in Canada, but we'll get to the bottom of that one. But before we get to our very special guest to talk about all the trans athletes dominating women's sports, I want to see the chat's reaction. That's you. I see you watching the show right now. I want to see you reacting and giving feedback for what you're about to watch. So let's roll the tape.
Number 607, UNC.
Okay, perfect.
That's a long walk.
It's on. Everybody, I'm locked in a firmament and I'm stuck in a simulation.
Name and address, please.
Oh yeah, my name. I'm from the Paroma. That's like in the heavens. It's like the same as heaven, but it's different. And I came to talk about Trump because I love Trump, and y'all disrespect Trump, and y'all don't know that y'all devils, and y'all come from the devils. Y'all fell from heaven. And y'all don't know that Trump is good. He black stuck in another body because the world is simulation and everything is reincarnated. Oh, sorry. Everything is reincarnated. And I got some papers I need y'all to sign because I'm trying to let everybody know that Michelle Obama is a man. Her name is Michael, and don't nobody know. But this right here, if y'all can help me sign this, we can kind of like get a gender reveal. Because she's a man. I mean, he's a man. It's kind of like a he-she. But it's different. But I need to get out the firmament. And I need to get to Antarctica. So I need you guys to help me get to Antarctica too, right? Because y'all blocking me from Antarctica. And you doing it for sure because you know you fell from the heavens. And I can look at you and tell that you Natholion, you Lucifer. You Satan, you devil. Leave Trump alone. And Hillary Clinton's stupid. And Bill Clinton did inhale that weed. He said he didn't, but he did. I know he did. Who smoked weed and don't inhale?
Cool.
What? Oh, yeah, you use it all.
Thank you guys for having me. I love you guys. America, make America great again. Put up the wall, and I love you, you love me. Bring Marty back!
Our next speaker is Mr. Alex Stein.
What's up? What's going on, guys? Sorry, right now I'm debating some libtard about Donald Trump. Get your cup.
That's mine.
What? All right, so, hey, Mayor. Thank you guys for having me. Everything's going good in Coppell.
Name and address,
Oh,
please.
my name's Alex Stein, 7509 Inwood Road. What you just saw, though, is the first black man, I believe, to ever come to this council and ask for what he asked for. And I looked at your face, and some of you guys, I didn't know if I was at a city council meeting or a Klan rally. I mean, some of the way y'all looked at that African American, y'all looked at him as less than, and I don't think that's cool. I don't look at that man as less than. I look at him better than me. And that's why I feel like we should treat, people that are underprivileged like him. You see him, he's an ex-convict. He accidentally murdered somebody, vehicular manslaughter. And a lot of people, they want to say, oh, he murdered somebody, he's a bad person. Not me. I think we should look at a murderer and give them the same respect. If they paid their dues, they paid their, social justice, their crime to society, then they should be a free man. And I'll be honest, he has some serious issues. I caught him looking at some websites, not illegal websites, just weird websites of drawings of My Little Pony in a sexual manner, and I did not think that was okay. And so I reported him to the police for that, and we're having issues with the police and law enforcement in Coppell not arresting him for that, because that My Little Pony brony stuff is not good. So with all that being said, right now, we're in Coppell, in the greatest city in America. You saw Coppell got rated the best city in America. Did you see this, Mayor? It's true.
Yes, you did. For the
Yeah,
people
rated
playing
one
at
of the
home,
top
Coppell
cities
did get
living.
rated the best city. Why? Because it's mainly white people that aren't going to rob you and aren't going to kill you. And
Wow.
is that, is that a real statement? I don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that. But we look at our crime stats, you look at our demographics of the city, and I'll tell you what, it's safe as hell. So I'm happy that Coppell is a city where I don't have to worry about a Venezuelan Trinidad Aruga gangbanger coming over here and trying to manipulate me or do something to my girlfriend or do something to my ex-wife, Deborah. I don't have to worry about that at all, because Coppell is a safe city. And the only criticism I have is you guys could have treated Unc with a little more respect. He is a black guru. His son was murdered and I believe was sacrificed to the Illuminati. So he's a very powerful guy. He's connected to the rapper Nelly, I'm sure. And he does not like Kanye West, so don't worry, we're not going to get in trouble with that. No swastika situation with Unc. He's very pro-Israel. I think he's Jewish, actually. He's a black Hebrew Israelite. So with all that being said, I just want to say that Donald Trump is the greatest president. And you know who's the greatest mayor? You, Mayor West. You're one of the nicest guys, your bedside manner. And listen, you got a ragtag bunch. You got to deal with all these councilmen. I know Mike, the city manager, is always giving you hell, and you're sending these emails. You're like, Mike, I'm the mayor. And he's like, I'm the city manager. You're the real boss, and you make this city great. And that's why the cowgirls and the cowboys of Coppell are such great, fine young people. God bless this city, and God bless you, and God bless Donald Trump. Thank you.
How'd you feel about the city council meeting?
It's good. They're gonna unlock the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
midget dancing is good. Midget porn is good. That's what I want. Yeah.
Lila, are you kidding me? I did not know Unc sexually harassed Lila. Lila's another co-host of the show. I didn't realize that. What was the worst part and best part of what you just watched, James?
The best part is I was questioning whether or not, like you had written the script for Cyrus, I was thinking, did he write the script for 607 Unc? Because this sounds like it could be an Alex Stein script.
We did go over some stuff, but no, I couldn't write it down. I don't think Unc can read. And that's not disrespectful. It's not the color of his skin. It's because he didn't have two parents. My point, though, when it came to Unc speaking, I didn't have anything planned either. So I didn't know what he was going to say. I was just going to try to piggyback off him. And if you guys saw at the end, I was actually doing a Trump versus Biden debate versus Pisco. You can watch that on Modern Day Debate or Pisco's channel if you guys want to go back and watch that debate. So I was totally distracted, flustered, and I was doing too many things at once. So I didn't even know what the hell Unc said. I just know that he said something about, I didn't realize when he said brony at the end, that's why I brought up the My Little Pony. I guess he was talking about LeBron James. I only heard his last statement about brony.
He was actually saying Barney because he was singing the
Bring
Barney
back
theme
Barney.
song.
Oh, that was Barney.
Sang the Barney song.
I love you.
Yeah.
You love me. We're a happy. But he didn't say that we're a happy family, right?
No, he yelled, bring Barney back. But I don't know if that's within the jurisdiction of the Coppell City Council.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Little did you know the reason why he brought that up, and I'm guessing this is in his subconscious, that every episode of Barney was actually filmed at these studios right here. No lie. and JFK, the movie JFK, and the movie Addams Family Values. So no joke, we actually have the tree. I know I make up a lot of stuff. You just heard me talk about Black Hebrew Israelites. This is not a lie. This is not a fabrication. Every episode of Barney was shot in this studio.
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
But is he really a Black Hebrew Israelite, or is that just part of the fun?
I don't know if he's a practicing one, but I think he says that, and he says a lot of stuff, so it's hard to tell what is real and what's fake, because he is playing a character, right? I mean, I don't know how else to describe.
He's in character.
He is in character, but it's hard to get him out of character. So I didn't like that at the end. He said midget porn, or what did he say? I did not.
Midget porn is good.
Yeah, we might want to bleep that out for the YouTube version. I don't even like that, and I'm edgy as it gets. Okay, real quick, James, I don't want you to get yourself in trouble, but what do you think about old CBD? You ever try and experiment with some good old-fashioned cannabis?
I haven't had like the pill form.
You need some help sleeping tonight? We got some strong stuff because we got a great company that sponsors this show. They're called CBDistillery. I always mess up. Sorry, CBDistillery. All right. If CBD isn't part of your wellness routine yet, now's the time to change that. It's CBD Awareness Month. Is that a real thing, CBD Awareness Month?
That's what was in the copy.
I know. I'm going to read the copy, but Google that. I just don't want them to call me. Is that a real thing? I mean, everybody has a month. Now CBD has a month?
I think that's Willie Nelson's birthday.
That's what I'm saying. Well, is it weed? Does not just weed even have its own month? Now CBD somehow has its own month, but I don't even think there's a weed month.
Wouldn't 420 kind of be the holiday for it?
I would say that I would agree. That's the holiday of it. So well, apparently it's CBD Awareness Month, and we are celebrating here at the Blaze. And CBDistillery is going all out with the celebration as well, because you can save up to 60% off everything. That's right, 60% off everything, and that includes their #1 best-selling relief stick for post-workout pain, and their sleep gummies, which I love. These are some of the sleep gummies. You can't see me. I know it's hard to zoom in. You can agree that says Delta CBD gummies or whatever.
I agree.
And listen, I shouldn't be doing this because I have to operate a bunch of machinery after this, but I'm just going to tell you, I really do eat this stuff. It's delicious. I probably shouldn't be taking sleeping medicine at 6 p.m., but because I'm such a stud and I have so much energy and adrenaline in my body, I can't even sleep. I don't even sleep. So for me, I just feel good in the hood. And you can too by going to CBDistillery.com. Finish the copy. What's the rest of the website? Yeah, eat that. Look at that. How delicious that is. So, guys, it's all 60% off. Use the code VIP. This is premium quality CBD. Nothing artificial, no fillers, just clean, plant-based solutions that actually work. Whether you need to sleep better, you need less stress, or relief from pain after exercise, CBDistillery. I can't even speak right now. I'm on the CBD myself. It's hard to do. I'm going on the CBD. They have a natural solution to help you. You don't want to miss this discount. It's the perfect time to get started with CBD and stock up. Visit CBDistillery.com and use promo code VIP. That's CBDistillery.com. Specific product availability depends on individual state regulations. So, I don't know if it's legal in the state that we're currently in. So I probably shouldn't have eaten that on camera, Jimmy. Is it legal in Texas? Didn't they just?
I think it's only illegal to sell it.
Yeah,
in
this
Texas.
is just. I'm not even gonna lie. This is real CBD, and I'm high as hell already. I don't know if it's supposed to work that fast, but I feel great. So you guys can too. CBDistillery.com. Promo code VIP. I don't know if I like that promo code because I don't know if we're gonna get any credit by anybody using it, but I still encourage you to shop there if you want to get high on your own supply, or CBD Distillery's supply. What do you think about that?
I think I would like to give some of that to my mother-in-law.
Yeah, please. Oh my gosh, this is perfect for annoying mothers-in-laws. I wouldn't give this to a child, no way, but I would give it to a grandmother. You know, your grandmother's spouting off a little bit. Because, you know, a lot of grandmothers in this day and age, they drink, right? Does your grandmother drink?
My grandmother's dead. Thanks for bringing it up.
Well, so is mine. Everybody's grandmother's dead unless we're a kid.
Right.
But did she drink?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody's grandmother drink. Hey, Grandma, lay off the Miller High Life and have a little bit of a CBDistillery THC to make you feel right. And they'll give you the munchies. So, guys, do not spend too much money on your Uber Eats or DoorDash, all right? And, I've actually thought, I didn't think of it. I've been doing it. I signed up for DoorDash, and I have not been caught yet. What I did was I watched a bunch of Instagram videos of people talking about how they do DoorDash and they eat the food. Have you seen these videos?
No.
I'm just so annoyed that I didn't even know I was going to go into this topic and talk about this story because I really should pull it up, but I'll just tell you about it. So what is happening now is there's a lot of people that do DoorDash, and there's kind of like an ecosystem of content on TikTok of people like, what I made in a day as a server at Texas Land and Cattle, what I made as a day as a DoorDash driver. And then there'll be people that trick it up. They'll be like, I'm taking all my money that I made from DoorDash today, $107, and there'll be people in Las Vegas, and they say, I'm going to go to the casino and bet it all on black. And they have like lots of followers. So I watched one, I'm like in that algorithm where I'm getting all these DoorDash, Uber Eats drivers. A guy talked about how it was his third email account about how he got fired for eating the food. He would just accept the gig, take the food and say there was an issue, and he got fired the third time. And this was him on his fourth time. He said, I'm such an idiot. I don't know why I was doing it wrong the whole time. What he does now, and what I've started to do, I've only done it one time, but I'm going to continue to do it until I get caught, is you go and you actually deliver the DoorDash that was ordered. And this is hard because Chipotle stopped doing this, but at certain locations, they still leave the other DoorDash orders out in the open, right?
Yeah.
So you steal those orders, not your own.
You don't even have to be a DoorDash driver to do that. You can just go into a restaurant and grab a few and then just walk out. Why do you even have to get on the grid with the DoorDash app?
You're fucking brilliant. Excuse my language. I don't even have to do DoorDash, and I can still steal from these people. James, how much are they paying you? Because I might have to hire you to work for me. I'm going to double it if you want to come work for me and help me steal Chipotle.
They don't have to pay me. I steal food. Yeah.
He's an expert. He knows. He's a hungry man. We're all hungry. Okay, now I get a little bit of kickback, and James, I don't want to describe you as the same as me, but I feel like, you're conservative, you're kind of out there, and because we're conservative, we are the more outspoken side, or I don't even know if that's the way to describe it. I guess my point is, I'm calling people libtards, and some people get mad about it. I don't think that's rude to call somebody a libtard, but what is your opinion? Is that alt-right? Is that lefty? Is that disrespectful, impolite? Like what? When I say it, people laugh, people like it on the internet. But I get hate. People like, you're using the L word. And then I have to say retard, which I know is not a great word, but we're conservatives. Can we not say the R word? Now I'm like Donald Trump. I mean, where is your sensibilities regarding libtard and the R word?
I don't know. I don't want to say like libtard is cringe, but if you're like trying to insult the other side, a lot of times I think it takes away from the point you're trying to make. So while we enjoy it, you and I think it's funny, I don't know if it's like really effective in winning over converts.
I think you're right about that.
But there's no way I'm offended by it because on the other side of the spectrum, we get called Nazi, racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe, literally Hitler, and I feel like that's way worse. So if you're going to get a rash about someone being called a libtard, you better just be blowtorching all the Nazi accusations that happen on MSNBC pretty much every day.
You're exactly right. I think the false allegations that I get called a Nazi or alt-right is absolutely ridiculous. And I guess when it comes to the left, and I mean the right probably does this a lot about projection. So whatever they're projecting and calling you, that's what they really are. So I just bring and say all this because we're starting a new segment, and we've been doing this out in the field, but now on the show we're also going to react to libtards in the wild. My very good friend Rita Panahi, and this is the bumper for it. We're going to be going into this segment. She has a very famous called Lefties Losing It, and she's been so gracious to let me be a part of that. That's where you saw me on Sky News. You saw me on Sky News, right?
I did, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Jimmy didn't believe anybody sees me on Sky News. Jimmy, didn't you say you didn't believe me anybody sees me on there?
That's what I don't think Australia is real.
Well, no, do not be like that. What did you say earlier today when I said people see me on the show and you kind of scoffed at that? Am I wrong or am I right?
I don't think Australia is real. That's why I scoffed at it.
Okay, well, James is proof. Some people do watch it. A lot of people watch it, actually. It gets millions of views, but okay. My point is, I don't want to rip off her bit. I was already doing libtards in the wild, so I just want to say I give all credit to Rita and Sky News. We do not want to copy them whatsoever, but we are going to react to one special libtarded clip, a show, and, try to make it a thing, too, and see if it can catch on. So this is our first installment of Libtards in the Wild. Okay, so this is a boy. What is this boy's name?
I think it's like Leah with 2 A's. This
is Leah. So this is Leah.
I think it's
Rose.
on the. I think it's on the. Yeah, Leah Rose, I believe.
So nothing more libtarded than pretending to be a girl, I would say, is how I would describe that. Okay, that's enough of playing that. Now our next guest, we want to play that clip because our next guest is an expert and just wrote a great article about all of these trans athletes dominating women's sports. So when you see this, James, the high school student athlete having to compete against a trans person, I want to be empathetic to the trans person. I'm sure it's hard to be a trans person in high school, but I'm also based in reality that I can see that these trans people are using this as an excuse or as a way to dominate in a sport that they wouldn't normally be able to dominate in. So it's kind of weird that I'm attacking children because I don't want to attack children, right? But I'm definitely not okay with trans children. So where do you kind of stand on the issue?
I think it's kind of comical to watch in the high school setting and even in the college setting, because what are we sacrificing here for the whole world to see how ridiculous their argument is? Oh, we've sullied the integrity of high school girls' high jump. So that's not like a big sacrifice on our part. I mean, it's terrible for the girls, but this isn't a losable argument that we have here. Like, the next Olympics is just going to be off the charts, and so they can tell you that there's no biological difference between men and women, and then we can go ahead and we can relent and let them try their little paradigm out in the real world and just watch it fail over and over and over, because the great counterbalance to this is show me the one of the opposite where a girl has gone transition and is now dominating in men's sports. And if it doesn't happen once, they don't have an argument. And so they think that they're proving their point and they're being pioneers and they're being brave and stunning and whatever, and they're just constantly proving us right.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, you just nailed it. So when it comes to these trans people, like I said, I don't hate trans people, but I consistently see when I debate these people on college campuses, even if I'm debating the most liberal person, about in my experience, I think I've had maybe one person, that one guy said women and men are just as strong, but even liberal people concede that men on average are stronger than women biologically. I mean, they don't even want to argue that point. But so like how you said, they try to say that they're even. I feel like they don't even admit that they're even. They just say, listen, they have a little bit of an advantage, but this is what's better for social justice and progressivism.
I just hate how it's so tied to politics now. It shouldn't be a political thing. It should be like a biology thing, and it should really be as simple as boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Let's move on past, the kindergarten cop, level of thinking.
But that's all we need is that. I mean, it's that simple, right? I mean,
and then you look at the far end of what's supposed to be from kindergarten understanding of it to the lady who just got into the Supreme Court. Couldn't tell you what a woman is.
Think about that. We have a Supreme Court justice when asked, what is a woman, that they can't even describe.
I don't know. It could be anything. I'm not a biologist. Say, well, are you a cat?
Yeah.
Huh? Do you know anything?
Yeah, but what an answer. That's just such I'm not a biologist.
That should be like a disqualifying answer, though, right?
100%. If anybody should be disqualified, that should be. If you're a Supreme Court justice, you have a job for life, you're making some of the most important decisions in the world, you should be able to make a decision on calling out what a guy or girl is. I mean, that should be like no fear in getting canceled. How can you even get canceled as a Supreme Court justice? I don't even think you can.
Yeah, well, and this argument feels a lot like the Joe Biden argument, where they were telling you he's sharp, he's ready to go, he's the best person out of a nation of 330 million people to be president. It's like, all right, fine, go ahead, throw it out there. And you just get proven wrong over and over and over.
What do you think about the Jake Tapper now writing a book saying that they were misled and that they did have, they thought he might be developmentally disabled or might have cognitive issues, but they weren't sure. And so now the media just had this grand awakening. Like, they're such liars. You guys are such lying scumbags. You guys knew that it was weekend at Bernie's the whole presidential time that he was in office. I mean, come on. So what do you think about Jake Tapper now grifting off that? Yeah,
Jake Tapper saying the media has been lying to you about Joe Biden. This is like Bill Cosby saying, I think Puff Daddy parties too hard.
Right? That is funny. That is good. Okay, keep going. Sorry, that is true. Well, how hypocritical is that?
Well, so you know that Joe Biden was totally incapable before he got elected in 2020. And you and I have like a record of videos that we could just show up where in 2019 and 2020 and 2021 and 2022 and 2023 and 2024, we were saying this guy's an idiot. He's just a human Roomba that just runs into walls and turns around and runs into another wall. And
Falls off bikes.
at the same time, the Joe Scarboroughs of the world, this is the best Biden ever. If you don't like it, F you. Take it to the bank. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't the truth. And it was like a month before everyone agreed he needed to be ushered out. So, like, how bad can their reporting be? And they still keep their job. Apparently, it's infinitely bad.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be bad. Like, it's supposed to be incorrect. And so that's why they get to keep their job for being this wrong. Our next guest, though, he's a Blaze contributor. He's a Blaze writer. Is that the proper title for him?
I think it's technically media columnist.
Media columnist, Canadian, Andrew Chapados. Am I saying that right, though? Or am I saying it with enough Hispanic flair? Or is it, do I say it
Might be
Canadian?
French.
Or is that French? Is it
Chapados.
Chapados. Yeah, what is it?
It is French. I'm not
I'm such a
Hispanic
fucking
whatsoever.
idiot. I don't know anything. Literally don't know anything. Like, oh my, why am I talking about Mexico? Jimmy, you went to Princeton. I said there's no Mexicans in Canada 5 times. James, in 2 seconds, realized that his name is French. How stupid are you, Jimmy?
Pretty stupid.
Andrew, how you doing? What's going on, brother? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, Alex.
What's the deal with all these dudes beating up on girls in women's sports?
It's a really big trend these days. I don't know what the deal is with it. I don't know why it's being allowed. Even after the executive order, it's still being allowed to exist. You showed the one young male there doing the high jump. There's actually a protest by 4 girls at that event who didn't want to participate in it. But there are, as you alluded to earlier, dozens and dozens of examples over the last couple of years. I can't keep track of them all. This is how much there is. When people say, like Representative Jasmine Crockett, she says it's not happening, point to the trans kid that's ruining your life. There's a lot of them ruining young girls' lives, or maybe it's their parents ruining their lives, as we saw sort of in one of your recent interviews on a college campus. But it's happening pretty much every single day. And there's a bunch of examples.
I had some CBD stuck in my throat. I couldn't talk. No, but real quick, I just want to say you made such a good point. It's these parents' fault 95% of the time, except there's a rare exception where they'll tell the parents, the doctor will tell the parents that the kid will commit ooh-eyed if they don't get the surgery. We cannot say that on YouTube. So I'm saying there are a few parents, like Chloe Cole's parents, that thought that they were doing the right thing, but the majority of the time it's Munchausen by proxy, where they want to keep their kids sick and on medication and constantly doing doctor's visits because they have a mental illness. So you're right. I just want to cut you off. I think that I get, by the left, they get mad at me for attacking children when it comes to trans stuff. I don't ever want to attack a kid. I think the kids a lot of times are innocent in this thing. So sorry, Andrew. I just want to make that point.
No, it's fine. And this is what happens. As we saw in your interview, they push them towards it. And there are some examples where the child doesn't know what's going on, obviously, and the parent will say, well, it would be cruel to make Billy compete against other Jimmy and Bobby, but that's just not the case. So I think there's some examples we can pull up, and I was hoping we could go over some of the examples and see if we could tell, like, if you can tell there's a physical advantage, because a lot of people want to say, you know, if you started the gender transition at puberty or just before puberty, you can halt puberty, and therefore the child will not have an advantage over the other athletes, which is statistically and biologically untrue. And I was hoping we could pull up one of them in particular named Anna Caldis. Now,
yeah,
this
that's
isn't
full
a
screen
young...
number 2. Pull that up. Sorry to cut you off, Andrew. But yeah, Anna Caldis.
Yeah, so this isn't a child, but this is an adult. And this is a guy who his real name is Hugo, by the way. He
Time
looks
out,
like a
Andrew.
Hugo.
George, did you just say that this person's hot, George? Because I will literally, I just had a guy, the director of the show just said that he's hot. George, you're a married man, dude. Does your wife know you're gay? I mean, I think they might tell her that before. Okay, sorry, Andrew. What were we saying about this dude?
I was saying this happened in San Antonio, Texas recently, and he won every event that he was in. 3 of them were more than 3 seconds. And this is a guy who's just joining like an older woman's swimming category and just dominating them. It was a 45-year-old to 50-year-old women's swimming category. And this guy just shows up and he dominates them. And there's documentation that goes back years and years where this guy was competing as a man, kind of like our favorite
Leah.
hot girl, Leah. Where he
George
was in a
is hot
men's...
favorite hot girl, director's favorite hot girl. But yes, our favorite hot, the penis propeller. I guess she is a woman, George, so you're not gay. I apologize. I don't want to get canceled. No, we all love Leah with the propeller in the pool that helped them win. So that's the most famous. What were you saying, Andrew?
I was just saying, this guy used to be on like gay men's swim clubs and talk. He was actually a scientist at university. He had patents that he filed under his old name, and then he just started competing against women and dominating them in swimming. So it's kind of a story we've heard before, but this is one of the more recent ones, and this actually happened in San Antonio. So even in Texas, this stuff is happening right now.
And I want to go through the list, but James, I want to ask you, why is that where a person like this, a gay man, happens to be obviously very intellectual, a scientist, it sounds
Not
like.
stupid,
Not
right.
stupid. I'm saying, why are all these intellectuals at these colleges all freaks? I mean, and they're not all freaks, but why do the super educated tend to kind of lean into this weird gender ideology progressivism?
So I put these people in two categories because I think some of these people who are trans are genuine. They genuinely
There are some,
feel
yeah,
like,
I agree with you.
Well, and I'm super close to this because when I was in New Orleans on the radio, my co-host for 3 years was a closet trans.
Cool.
And he had been that way since he was a kid, even before like he went to college. He would sneak his mom's clothes.
But when you say he, it was a female to male?
Well, he lived as a male for like 90% of his life, and this was what he did in the evenings. And there was...
So he was a drag queen.
No. He always wanted to transition and live as a woman.
But he was afraid because of the
yeah,
social
because
stigma.
He's a conservative talk show host.
Wow.
On the radio.
Blair
in New
White's a
Orleans.
friend of mine. That's the thing, is like Blair White's passing, but still, like, for me, when it comes to this trans stuff, it's the kids, it's the youth sports where it's really gross. If you're an adult, we live in a free country, but I still don't like the fact that this guy's just a gay guy, probably a gay smart guy, and he's like, oh, I'm so smart, I can figure out a hack on how to win a women's swimming league by, putting on a women's swimsuit. So I don't know. It's a very hard situation. I don't want to.
Well, I got to watch it. It's a compulsion, and there's a sexual element to it.
That's the big element.
With a guy I was close to, and that doesn't make it wrong. That just means like you can't turn it off any more than like you can turn it off. Like if a beautiful woman walks in and you would notice, right? You're compelled to do that. So I mean, he could never really turn it off, and he would try and talk himself out of it, but he would always go back to it. And he's not with us anymore.
Oh, rest in peace.
But he had a big complaint with the people. Like his concern was 65% of children that experience gender dysphoria naturally outgrow it by age 25 without treatment. The ones that don't get treated, 65% of them
always
revert back.
outgrow it.
So for them, it really was just a phase. And his concern was that people were getting talked into this lifestyle that caused him so much problem and heartache. He never got married. He never had a healthy relationship because, girls wouldn't accept this. And so it was a burden that he carried around. It wasn't something that he celebrated and waved around.
And that seems like the more normal approach, because it would be hard to be gay. Like, I have gay family members. I'm not anti-gay, but it would be hard, the social stigma of your family members having to tell people, oh, my daughter is
It was
now.
terrible.
That's what I'm saying.
It really was terrible. And the thing is, it wasn't something he can turn off. And for 65% of people, they can turn it off at some point. So if they can, then they weren't compelled to do it, which means they were kind of coerced or encouraged or incentivized or in some other way experimenting with this when they wouldn't have without some other intervention to encourage them to make these bad decisions.
No, and there is always usually a parent or doctor.
But I have no way of knowing whether this guy is genuine, if he's one of the real ones.
None of the
or not.
athletes are genuine. And like when I say genuine, like obviously I don't think a guy can actually become a girl, but I do think people have such gender dysphoria, mental health issues that they do think that they're in the wrong body. Whether that's right or wrong and that we need to enable that, I mean, that's kind of where we decide on what we need to do. But I do think there are people that are that mentally ill. But there's also people that are just horny from it. So, Andrew, I want to get back to these ladies, but this is not a lady's name. This is Henry Halen. Can you tell us about Henry, Hank?
Yeah, Henry Hanlon. And something else you'll notice if you read a lot about these incidences, a lot of them go to Waldorf schools. I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't.
It's
what is that?
I barely know what it is. It's like a specialized art school based on a specific European style of teaching, and a lot of, I
It's a new
shouldn't say
word
a
for me.
lot, but many of these cases come from these schools, which is an interesting thing. If your viewers want to look up what a
Yeah, I'm
Waldorf
looking up
school, I think-
ChatGPT right now. What is a Waldorf school? What is the basic description?
No, Waldorf Astoria, not the same thing.
Yeah. Well, we know Waldorf Astoria is a famous hotel brand. Waldorf
No,
school.
it's based off a guy.
It's a
What?
bad joke.
Listen, this show is not meant to be funny. This is a kids show about serious stuff, and we're trying to protect kids in women's sports. A Waldorf school is an independent educational institution based on the philosophy of Rudolf Steiner, probably related, emphasizing holistic development through arts, creativity, and experiential learning, not experimental, experiential learning. It focuses on nurturing a child's intellectual, emotional, and physical growth in a non-competitive environment. Oh, so this is like one of those schools you don't get graded. The curriculum integrates academic subjects with music, movement, storytelling, and practical skills. Tailored to developmental stages, technology use is often limited, especially in early years, to foster imagination and hands-on engagement. Teachers typically stay with the same class for multiple years to build strong relationships. So they used to make fun of these type of schools in Arrested Development. Did you ever see that show?
Yeah, I've seen that show.
Well, they wouldn't get a grade, so they would get like their report card would be like a bumblebee, a bicycle, like, whatever, it'd be this new age shit. So that makes sense that all these transgenders are coming from parents that are so crazy that they don't want to send their kids to a normal school with computers. So this makes sense, right? I mean, once again, what is the contributing factor? The parents picking the school, probably picking their kid's gender. So once again, this is another check for the poor kids. I feel like they're being abused. So now let's talk about the one we just watched, Leah Rose. Now, Leah, you said 4 people competed, 4 women. They sat out of the competition. In this video, who was yelling? Was that one of the parents calling them, dead naming them?
I don't think it's clear who is yelling. At some of these events now, you do have people saying, that's a man. I think that guy was doing his best Austin Powers impression. But if you remember the fencer who took the knee against the male, the day after that, there was another fencing competition in California where a bunch of women were calling out a male competitor. So this is an increasing thing where, a lot of the times it's older women calling this stuff out. Not in this case, obviously, but I've seen several instances where older women, probably in their 50s or 60s, are calling this stuff out. And then you get a bunch of libtards, you might say, walking up to them and doing the classic, we're going to put a sign in front of your face calling you a bigot and a piece of garbage and all this. But there are many women like these young girls who are standing up for it. But I think that brings up a debate, Alex, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Do you blame any of the, let's say it's like a 17-year-old doing this. Do you place any blame on the girls not standing up or not sitting out like some of these girls do? Or do you think it's incumbent on the adults to put a stop to it?
Well, my very good friend, shout out Tim Poole. I love Tim Poole, my guy. He disagrees with me. He says that the women should forfeit. They need to not participate. And I tend to agree with that. But also, I can go back, and this is my personal experience. I look back at the COVID era, and I was a high school football player, and my senior year of football, and all my years of football were so important to me. I couldn't imagine getting my senior year of football taken away for COVID. Like that would have devastated me. Sports was my whole life. I was a little kid. I didn't have, I was in high school. It was my whole identity. So for some of these girls where sports are their whole identity, I don't want them to throw that away because some perverted guy is trying to compete against them. You know what I mean? I don't want to punish them when they've done the right thing. So that's where I disagree with Tim that, listen, I like it. I love it when the shot putter doesn't compete. I think that they send the message, but at the same time, that shot putter worked her derriere off and threw that shot put by herself in that field for hours on end to get to that level, and she's going to throw that all away because a guy with a penis is mentally ill and they're letting him compete. So I don't know the onus, how much of that lands on the women. A little bit, but I also think, like you said, it's the adults or the league that needs to make it fair for all the athletes.
Touching on what you were saying before about, what compels them to do it. And a lot of it is I want to be good at this sport again or start beating these girls at these sports. I kind of thought about this, and I've talked about this with some of the female activists who are against this sort of stuff.
The TERFs,
and
trans-exclusionary radical feminists. They're the greatest.
Bigots.
And there's a lot of my fans are actually TERFs, lesbians. They're like, Alex, I'm not even conservative, but I love when you wear a tuck-friendly bathing suit. It's funny, so I love the TERFs. And that's why we need to lean on the TERFs, because we need the gays to fight the Ts, even though that's probably what they want, the gays and the Ts fighting, the gays and the trans trans fighting. But that actually probably would be better because then the trans would feel maybe a little alienated from the gays because the gays aren't that bad. I mean, some of them are, but not all of them. And so I think we need kind of a civil war, the gays versus transgenders. I think that would help solve a lot of our problems.
I think that's a good Marvel movie title. Gay versus trans civil war. But what I was saying was,
wait, time out. Before you say something, I know you're going to make a point. Somebody told me that the new Marvel movie is based on Rosa Parks, and it's called Iron Wolf or something. You know, Andrew, you're a Marvel.
I hope so. I've seen a frame of it. I was confused why it's called Iron Wolf. That sounds like something from World War II. But the image I saw was a black female, yes, if we can make that assessment.
We can. So the main is like a Rosa. I'm not even kidding. I've read somewhere that they're trying to, like, the character's not called Rosa Parks, but they're trying to, like, insinuate that it's the modern day Rosa Parks, which is good for Rosa Parks and good for her. Did you know Rosa Parks' husband had a car, James?
No.
He actually had a Cadillac, a nice one. All right, now let's go to number full screen 5, Ada Gallagher. Now, what's going on with Ada running track? Now we know Ada's in the Illuminati. Do you notice how it's 133-1? That's how they hide it right there.
Is that a thing?
That's 33. That represents the third of the angels that were casted out of heaven. So she is working for the Illuminati.
And that's why it's on the side of the round rock bottle.
This one actually got a lot of cheers when he and or she or they were racing, and very successful. Another person who's been in the news, the trans news, if you want to call it that, several times for being very successful, breaking records. And this is what ends up happening is I write about, like I said, literally dozens of these stories, Alex, and I don't want to have to write about this all the time, but I think there's some sort of like duty involved here where you have to point out that this is happening because people don't want to believe it's happening. And this is what happens regularly is that some of these athletes, they compete in multiple competitions, sometimes like in a month, because this is, if you think about high school athletics, you're going to tournaments, you're going to track meets and everything, a lot of track, obviously. And they're successful breaking records week after week. And the women are just sort of sitting there being like, what can I do besides participate? Now, that reminds me of the high jumper. The high jumper, when he competed as a boy, he had the same like jump height as when he was a girl. But when he was a boy, he came in last. And when he was a girl, the same height won him the competition. So this is like, he has to do like, he gained like 2 inches over the course of like 4 years in his jump. But
it's an unlosable argument.
Literally, didn't even have to get any better to win the whole entire enchilada, but they didn't place with their original height. I mean, it's insane, but okay. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people are going to see this. And so I don't want to lie because the chat rats are watching this, and I love you, chat rats. And this is a thing, this is a statement they've seen me and heard me make multiple times. And I do believe this is the truth. And this is why I think the work that you're doing is so important, Andrew. But I want you to be a little more proactive because what you and I can do, and I want you to just follow me, and James, please follow me too. It seems like you're pretty good at doing old research. Would you agree with me on that, Andrew, that you're a pretty technically smart guy, right?
I've used a computer or two.
So what I need you to do is I need you to get on that computer, get on that thing, and we need to create a transgender tracker where we can find all of the top trans athletes so we can gamble on them and win money. But we want this information to be proprietary because we want to be able to sell these transgender picks. So I'm going to offer you, for $1,500, you can work for me for free in this project, and you, James, for $5,000.
Wait. $1,500 I can work for free? What does that mean?
That's exactly what it means. And I mean, don't worry about it. It'll be in the end. We'll get you back in the end. But yeah, you pay me $1,500, and you have to join the Church of Scientology. But other than that, that's all that we require. So if you're willing to track these transgenders and create an algorithm where we can bet on them and find betting and gambling advantages, I don't want to limit trans and women's sports. As a matter of fact, I want to make it easier for these transgenders to get in their sports in order to make me money. Because really, if we're going to be honest, and I was going to say this earlier, and I wasn't going to say it, but now I'm going to say it. Leah Thomas, although they were a boy, that boy did more for women's swimming than any of those bitches ever could. And I mean that with all due respect. I don't need to use that word. Just saying, they couldn't get viral if they tried. They could have been swimming naked. They wouldn't have had viewership. But as soon as they let a guy get in there with a wang, hanging.
Would we know Riley Gaines if not for Leah Thomas?
We would have no idea. And no offense, Riley. Riley's watching this.
Wow.
She watches the show every night. Riley, You hate him? You sadly wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for him.
Wow,
so it's
Alex, wow.
There's no disrespect to Riley Gaines. She's a super champion, all-American swimmer. I'm saying she would have been successful, more successful as a swimmer. But Riley, we probably wouldn't have known who won the All-America. You know, we wouldn't know. I don't know any All-American swimmers besides you and Leah Thomas. So no disrespect. Leah Thomas did help make Riley a superstar that she is today, rightfully so.
So it's sort of like a heel versus a baby face in wrestling sort of situation you're saying then.
Exactly right. And I'm a trans mark. I'm a mark for the transgenders because I can gamble on them. And so, yeah, it's the definition of WWE. Okay, Andrew, before you go, you're in Canada. What's the deal with this Mark Carney guy? Are you in Florida or Canada?
I'm in Canada.
Yeah, you're in Canada.
Where'd you get Florida from?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking like Viva Fry or something that maybe you moved to Florida. No, I know you're Canadian, but Viva Fry's a Canadian that moved to Florida. Give me a break, dude. I mean, come on, dude. I'm on
Probably
CBD
illegal.
gummies. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing right now.
Good gummies.
They're strong as hell. This Mark Carney guy, Pierre Poilievre, I can't even say his name. He had it slam dunk, I thought, about 6 months ago, and then people are blaming. I had to debate some libtard. He said, because of Trump's tariffs, that's why you have a liberal guy. I'm like, I don't even know if that's true. So can you give me was he right with this Pisco guy who's debating? I don't even want to. I kind of conceded because I didn't know. But was Trump's tariffs actually responsible for Pierre losing?
Not at all. And I'm glad you asked me about this because I started to see towards the Canadian election, a lot of American sources started realizing what Pierre was all about. And I'm going to get flack for this, of course. But Pierre took zero risks. He had that election in the bag with Trudeau, right? The beautiful haired man that we used to have. Kind of like your hair, Alex.
Not as good. Not as good as Justin. Come on, don't be like that. I don't want to.
That's fair.
I'm friends
Old
with his
JT.
brother. Friends with his brother. We love his brother. Nobody's more beautiful other than Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's the sexiest politician. And then Justin Trudeau. Go ahead, sorry.
So once they got Justin Trudeau out of office, once he resigned, then they sort of had nothing to go after because they were all about, you know, tarnishing Justin Trudeau. I don't know if I can swear. Tarnishing Justin Trudeau. And once Justin Trudeau was there, they sort of didn't have anything because they were pointing at him for like 3 years. And then they took away this carbon tax. So we had a carbon tax in Canada, a wonderful country. And the Liberals took away, and Mark Carney, once he came into office, just took away that carbon tax, which Pierre Poilievre was suggesting to get rid of for years and years. That's also what he was running on. He would say, cut the tax, axe the tax, actually, is what he was saying. So once they did that, there was no more Trudeau and there was no more carbon tax. He didn't have anything to really run on. He never mentioned anything about immigration. He never took a hard stance on men and women's sports, for example. And all that happened was all the leaders of the political parties in Canada, they all battled over how much they could say Orange Man is bad. So the Liberals would say, Pierre, you love Donald Trump. Your followers are are going to support you like they support Donald Trump. And then he would say, no, I believe the Orange Man is more bad. Mark Carney's a businessman who's worked with Trump in the past, so I believe the Orange Man is the worst. And then the third guy would be like, I'm a communist, so obviously I hate Donald Trump. And that's basically what happened. And then the boomers who were embarrassed for to vote for Justin Trudeau, they saw a new guy come in, and they saw that they could vote for the Liberals again. So while the Conservatives did better than last time, they still don't take any risks. So imagine you have an entire party of you know, neocons essentially who are afraid of like free speech. They're afraid of the liberal media, and they just go with the status quo because they don't want to be seen as mean. And if I can sum it up in that, that's the sentiment of Canada, is we cannot appear to be mean. So why we can't say anything that might be seen as truthful.
Yeah, and that is true because the truth sometimes the truth hurts, but it's crazy, and I got to let you go because we got to react to one more thing, but it's crazy to think, I just saw some stat that 45% of Canada's population is either foreign-born or have a foreign-born parent, I believe. So it is
That's bad.
It is bad. I think
India too now. We're India too.
So,
Part 2.
I mean, I would say that, like, it's hard. You can't probably go full, like, in support of Donald Trump, but Pierre would have been better being more bold. And that's why these politicians, Jasmine Crockett is actually the biggest idiot. She's like a fake ghetto. She's not even ghetto. But because she's bold, because AOC is bold, because they make bold decisions that, yeah, they're cringe, but, you know, no risk, no reward. You're right. I don't even know that much about the election, but if he didn't take any risks, when he was playing from behind anyway, right? He was playing on house money. In my opinion, Pierre even having the opportunity, considering how liberal Canada is, he should have taken a chance, but he didn't. So now what's going to happen to Canada in the next 10 years?
I think we're just going to go full like World Economic Forum. It's just going to become more so like India and China, both population wise and politics wise. But Alex, I was, when you just said that, I was wondering, why isn't Jasmine Crockett like another AOC? Can't she be your black AOC?
I'm not attracted to black women sexually.
Okay, that's fair.
You know,
Kind of
our
bigoted,
studios
but fair.
downtown are in her district.
Yeah, I know. Well, I have an office in her district. I'm not even kidding. I own 2 buildings. We own a building on Elm Street in her district too.
Yep, okay.
We need to go mess with her. Okay, Andrew, thank you for coming on. Before you go there, how can people find you and support you and find all of your great articles on Blaze.com?
Theblaze.com, yeah, just click on my name and follow my Twitter there. All the articles will be there and all the links will be there. Andrew Says TV on X. Can't call it Twitter anymore. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Andrew. Keep up the good work, and let's give me that $1,500, Venmo, PayPal, anyone, and then let's get on this transgender tracker. I don't want to do any work. I just want to be the face of it, like Elon Musk, because you know Elon Musk doesn't know a damn thing about rockets. All right, so thank you.
He can't even read.
He can't read. I mean, he maybe Swahili or something because he's African, but yeah, he can't read English. All right, thank you. Talk to you later, Andrew.
See ya.
Guys, I want to take a moment to talk about where we are right this minute. Because let's be honest, conservatives are winning. The movement is actually gaining ground, and people are waking up. The narrative is cracking, and the momentum is finally shifting. But the fight's not over. It's not even close to being over. And that's why Blaze TV exists, because in a world full of noise, we need a strong hold for bold voices, free thinkers, and fearless commentary that helps make sense of all the chaos. At Blaze TV, we've built a home for some of the strongest, smartest voices in conservative media, people who tell it like it is, ask the tough questions the mainstream media won't touch, and aren't afraid to challenge the narrative. When you subscribe to Blaze TV, you're not just watching content, you're supporting an actual movement. You're backing creators who think for themselves, speak boldly, and refuse to be silenced by big tech or corporate media. You're supporting investigative journalism that exposes corruption and original documentaries that shine a light on the deep state. It's everything the networks won't show you. Delivered on your terms, on any device, anytime. And right this minute, guys, you can try Blaze TV for just 99 cents for your first 30 days when you use the promo code PRIMETIME99 at checkout. That's an entire month of uncensored insanity for less than $1. You can't beat that price. So if you're ready to keep winning and shop your values, make sure we don't lose the ground game that we've actually gained through this great Trump victory. Go to blazetv.com/Alex and subscribe today. That's blazetv.com, promo code PRIMETIME99, and try Blaze TV for only 99 cents. Blaze TV, unfiltered, unafraid, on demand. All right, wow. All right, the show's almost over, guys. Thank y'all for being here. With any top chat rats we need to, shout out?
Well,
Morgan?
actually, let's shout out the KIRR
KIRR,
ammo.
yeah, KIRR ammo. Last night, I was doing the debate. I'm going to give you a makeup, or what is that? We have to make it up for the sponsor sometimes. What is that called?
Make good.
Make good. I'm going to do you a make good. I never have to do make goods because I'm such a good ad reader, but I don't want to get into that. Actually, I think I've had to do make goods. But listen, it's not about my history of being good at ad reads. What it is about is that I owe you. You gave the super chat, and I will make it up to you. So be on the lookout. I'm going to be in Tampa, Florida, speaking at Clearwater City Council about the Church of Scientology. So I think you getting a shout out in that video will actually be more valuable than the video that we shot last night. So thank you for that, KRR. I apologize for not mentioning you. But before we go, we need to react to one more video, and then I want to say goodbye. What is that last video on the SOT number?
Oh, do you want the Indian politician or you want the homeless man at the Diddy trial?
The homeless man says crazy stuff. Let's watch that tomorrow. So you see this Indian that's trying to impeach Donald Trump?
Yes.
Look, he's in Michigan, right?
Somewhere.
In Michigan, I know, we don't know. The guy's an Indian. He just came on the scene. Well, in Michigan, it's famous for their Motown music. And this legendary Detroit guy, I forget the guy's name, he went and asked him a few questions, and he asked them to name basically the 5 cities that he represents. And watch this Indian. He was reaching for tikka masala that he couldn't touch. So let's.
I don't know. What are the 5 Grosse Points cities? Well, look, I'm not here to answer a quiz. I'm here to say that I'm going to fight for the people.
Wait, start that from the beginning. I know we miss it because he asked him a question first. Everybody, I mean, we just play that again. I just want to get it because he asked some multiple questions. We just edited where it's that last one because that is the most important question. So this is the guy that's trying to impeach Donald Trump because he thinks it's illegal for Donald Trump to kick out gang members from our country that are here illegally. And this guy doesn't even know the 5 major cities in Michigan in the Grosse Pointe area. So I'm just sick of freaking Indian call center scammers running our country. And I'm not against Indian guys. I eat Indian food. I like Indian people. But this guy needs to be the cool Indian that, helps you hack a website and download software for free. Not one of these Indians that are trying to kick out the president that's trying to help our country and make us safe. Your thoughts?
You should know your own district before you impeach the president. You should be able to name the towns of the people that voted for you and sent you to D.C. before you claim to represent them. You represent which people? I don't know. They just live in some city. Well, what's the name of the city? I don't know, but we need to impeach him. Well, that's what my people want.
It's insane, guys. These are our elected politicians. Most of them, probably all of them, except for a few, are all idiots. Okay, James, thank you for joining us. I know you're a busy man. I wish you'd come back. I hope you come back again. I hope I don't get you canceled. We didn't say anything too crazy, did we?
Yeah, we might have.
Oh, my God. Jimmy, bleep out the episode anytime I said anything that could be considered racial or sexist or derogatory to any cultures that are not white.
That's most of the episode.
Okay, well, most of the episodes are going to have to go. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you guys watched it live. All right, before we go, where can people find you, James?
I'm on WBAP here in Dallas, 8:20 a.m., 93.3 FM. I have an afternoon show 2 to 5 on weekdays. And, of course, the James Show podcast lives wherever people listen to podcasts on whatever.
And everybody needs to go follow James Parker on Twitter. And I actually have to give James credit because I talked to James before one of our bigger videos of the year. That video, I went to that Big Booty Latina protest. I told you, I was on your show the day before, and he gave me the line, if she's a 9, she's fine. That was James that gave me that line. So
yeah, so check out the James Show. I have funny stuff on Twitter at James Parker Show. I know we're not supposed to say that anymore.
No, you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. No, I'm saying James' show actually is good. And at that protest, too, James, you have a lot of listeners in Dallas. 2 different people, because I said I was going to be at that protest, said, I was listening to the James Parker Show, and I came here. So you have a big audience in Dallas. Thank you for the hard work. I know it's not easy being a conservative guy in mainstream media, especially Cumulus is probably not that conservative, I guess.
No, Cumulus is the best company
We love
ever.
Cumulus. Cumulus is the best. No, I'm just saying, love Cumulus. Love
Everyone that works there above me is awesome management.
And the people below you are awesome as well. Everybody that works there
Not
is
so much
great.
the lower people.
Well, okay. We love you, Cumulus. Thank you for all the great work and all the great air that you...
Thank you for the money.
Thank you for the money and all the content that you put on the airways that we can listen to for free. Actually, this is the last thing you see. You see they might get rid of AM radio and freaking cars?
Yeah, we'll survive. I mean,
know, we'll be fine.
eventually we'll broadcast. It used to be on AM, then it's on FM, and then it's streaming, and we'll just be in the chip in your head probably about 10 years from now.
Well, now I have the Meta glasses. They have headphones in them, so you're just wearing glasses. Listen, so you're right. I'm a big radio guy. I love radio. I can't believe the radio, like we've said, it's been dying, but it's like actually they're trying to kill it. They're actually trying to kill it.
Yeah, that's okay. We don't use the abacus anymore. We don't send faxes anymore. The content that we create will just go on another platform. There's no big loss there.
I love that positivity. I love it. And we love all those great people at Cumulus, and we love all the great people at The Blaze. All right, guys, that's been our show. We end the show the same way every time with the freestyle finale. So, DJ, hit that beat. All right. I have to rap about something poignant because I almost got my guest canceled. So I just want to say I love all races. I love the blacks. I love the Chinese. I love the Mexicans. I love the Jews. I love the Israelis and the Hebrew Israelites. I love all people. I even love transgenders. I love ex-convicts. I like them more. And you know what? I don't like pedophiles, but if you are one, you watch the show. I appreciate you watching the show, but you're a piece of trash. But other than that, I support everybody except for pedophiles. Love you guys. Not racist in either extent. Peace and good night.